Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking a look at the new Kizuna legend BROOK over in some PvP on the Free Spirit team, seeing how he rocks, seeing how he rolls, and what he actually brings to one of the better teams in the game. Free Spirit have an abundance of very powerful PvP units. They have a lot of legends at their disposal, and BROOK is just another caliber legend that finds his way onto that meta-based team. The downside I'm finding with Free Spirit is that we just have so many legends at our disposal and not enough PvP rare recruits to kind of make up that 8-man team. But as always, with all the revive mechanics that Free Spirit have had, they tend to work quite well as a 6-man team because Zoro and Luffy always had that extra revive under their belt. And now with BROOK, you actually get an extra revive on top of that, provided it doesn't really hit the Luffy or Zoro units. But in PvP, BROOK is absolutely exceptional. He brings a lot to the team. He brings a lot of bulk. He brings that revive, as I mentioned. He brings speed. He brings halve stats. He does damage. So he's a very, very good unit and can easily find his way onto the front lines of a PvP defensive or offensive-based team. But as a unit, he gives Free Spirit class teammates HP up level 6, speed up level 6, crit up level 6, and then revives one Free Spirit teammate up to 1 time at 50% HP. So basically, as soon as a Free Spirit character dies, just like the old school Super Tandem Dex Luffy, he's going to revive a Free Spirit unit back at 50% HP. Now, I haven't really noticed if this affects Zoro and Luffy. I imagine it does, in the sense that it brings them back at half HP. However, and then it would just, then they would have their revive under their belt as well. But with this, it basically turns your 6-man team into something like a 9-man team. With the extra revives, if Luffy or Zoro dies, they obviously come back, and then if Nami Karina somehow gets melted early, or BROOK gets melted early, you can then have that 50% revive under your belt to bring them back to get some of their really nice abilities, like Nami Karina's rollback, the defense down, the CD reduction that Sanji can provide, the counter mechanic that Zoro has, and then the damage through defense that Luffy can actually do as well. With this as well, you can bring in Luffy Yamato if you need more damage, and that way you have a revive for Luffy Yamato rather than just having the 6+ Luffy. But look, Gear 5 has just been ruling the roosts when it comes to Free Spirit for so long that you don't really need that extra damage for Yamato, as Free Spirit are very good at sort of making their way to the back end of a fight, waiting for that level 10 defense, and then just going to the absolute wall with all the damage. And it's exactly what BROOK brings: more damage, more fun, and more revivability. So Free Spirit kind of have tended to lack damage for quite a while, and BROOK now brings an extra damage special with his actual hit, but he also has the chance to halve stats. He targets enemies within a large range horizontally for 2.5 times his attack, and then has a 50% chance to activate halve stats for 20 seconds. And then he targets Free Spirit class teammates for CT speed up level 5. So this halve stat doesn't exactly work out in your favor, but if it does, it just means that characters like Sanji, the counter mechanic of Zoro, is just going to hit even harder because they don't have the defensive capabilities to stop it. Plus, it just means that once you start lowering the defense even more with Nami Karina, you're kind of lowering it by like level 6 because it's adding that extra 50% half stats on as well. It, again, just means Zoro hits very, very hard. It means Sanji can hit very hard. And on top of that, it means that BROOK can hit very, very hard later down the line as well, because that level 5 CT speed allows Nami Karina to get their special back very, very quickly, combined with Sanji, who can give that 20% cooldown. So just having that ability to roll over special CD now is very, very nice. People like to use Otama in the front of a PvP team to have Nami Karina go a little bit faster, but I've always found that Nami Karina doesn't really need that level 5 help early to go as one of the first units in the chain. As you guys can see there, we went very, very quickly with all the CD reduction. Nami Karina have their special back, and we're not even 50 seconds into the fight yet. So you can do some really, really cool things with that level 5 CD that BROOK has. And with that halve stats, it's kind of just like a nice little cherry on top to everything that he's already doing. This extra damage is really, really nice. The CD reduction is really, really good. The revive mechanic is absolutely exceptional. And then having that special continuously charge over and over and over again just makes the team flow and function a little bit more securely, as he also brings speed. Having CT speed and speed combined together works very, very nicely, because you can have all the CD reduction in the world, but if you've got no speed and your units aren't moving up the chain, they can get stuck with the special forever, for days, for how long as it takes before they actually get a chance to attack. But with BROOK, that's not really the case, because he gives that level 6 CD, he gives the HP buff to keep you around a little bit longer, and then with that level 5 CD, you are going to be able to get the specials back, again, namely from Nami Karina, then you can roll back their special, and you just basically stall your way out to the final 30 seconds. Now, it's not foolproof. I did find that I was struggling struggling a lot against some of the bigger teams. Obviously, like Slashers can still cause a lot of drama. Some of the big bopping strength units can be an absolute issue, and then the new Dex team can be just an absolute menace to go up against. But as for any other team in the game, the Free Spirit team doesn't really have too many issues taking them down. Cerebral, obviously that anti-Free Spirit Cerebral team, it can be a bit of an issue. Obviously, if you come up against stuff like the big old Int team, that could be a bit of a concern as well, depending on what the investment of the other team looks like, of course. But with my Free Spirit team, it's not exactly the most invested team in the game. Obviously, all these units are very good outside of the PvP game mode, so having them leveled up, level 150 and all that sort of stuff too, does come a little bit more naturally than some other teams. But for myself, I never had a lot of luck with pulling dupes of Nami Karina, pulling dupes of Gear 5. My Zoro, my Sanji are sitting quite nicely, but Brook being a new character, not a lot of people are going to have his final tap maxed out, aren't going to have him at level 150, so this is going to hinder his damage and hinder that kind of stuff as well. In saying that though, once you do have this team fully maxed out, all of the rainbow borders and all that fun stuff, Free Spirit can do absolutely wondrous things. They can survive shots, they can revive for days, they lower CD reduction. With Nami Karina, they lower defense, they have counter abilities, and once you get to that last sort of 50 seconds of the fight, and you've lost a bunch of units, Free Spirit are not a team you want to go up against. Alright, so the final part of the video, I decided to take on the PvP Slasher fight, because, look, Slashers, like, they can still cause a lot of problems very quickly and very easily, but I thought the PvP Slasher fight is a good place to sort of showcase this, because you can do some pretty nice stuff there, and obviously if you come up against a lower invested Slasher team, you could definitely take down with Free Spirits nonetheless as well. But overall, Brook is fantastic in the front lines of a Free Spirit PvP team. I just really think that Free Spirit need that PvP unit that'll just glue the team together to make it flow and function a little bit nicely with an 8-man build. I don't exactly know who you'd replace, to be honest. Maybe something like Sanji if the character's giving some CD reduction and whatnot. Look, Nami Karina in offensive-based builds can make things a lot slower, but if you have something like Luffy Yamato, and you can abuse the revive mechanics that way, you can do some really, really nice stuff there. Another thing that Free Spirit have is a lot of bulk. As you guys can see there, with the amount of HP we have, with the amount of defense we have, and the amount of speed we have, you can bulk out shots from stuff like S-Hawk, you can bulk out stuff from like Roger and Whitebeard, and you can do some really, really fun stuff there. And even if you die, you have those revives under your belt. Where I think Free Spirit shines the most, and where they have really always shined the most, in my opinion, is on a defensive-based team. And Brook brings so many good defensive-based options that this particular team, as just a 5-man build, sitting there staring you down, could be very, very scary to deal with. Namely because of those halve stats, because of the extra revive, because of the damage output and the CD reduction that Brook can give with Nami Karina, with the rollback and the counter. It just works so nicely and perfectly as a defensive team. So if you see Free Spirit with Brook and the 5-man build staring you down the barrel of the gun, just be very mindful that things might not go your way and the team could sweep you very quickly, very fast, in that first 30 seconds to bring you down within the last 40 seconds of the fight. Because once you get to that point with Free Spirit, and they still have a 5-man build, you're in for a bit of a rough time, because they've set themselves up so nicely to the point where you're probably going to lose specials, you're going to lose defense, the counter's going to start catching up with you, and Brook is just going to basically start putting in shots and taking you out. But let me know what you guys think of Brook in the comment section below. Do you think he's worth the front lines of a PvP lineup, or do you think that he's sort of a little bit off the mark? But let me know down below. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, whether you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.